Hello and welcome to Chasing the Finish podcast, episode 28. My name is Mike. I am your host and I am joined by Ben Blakeman. Still no Jake yet. He's still sunning himself up in the Caribbean. I believe we heard from him for the first time properly a couple of days ago. And I think he gets back. I think he says he lands on Saturday or Sunday evening.
Yeah. I have no idea because as you say, we've only just heard from him. I mean, he has been relatively quiet as expected. Also, we didn't want to bother him, so just kind of let him to enjoy his honeymoon. But I've been very worried about him, like especially with this sleepwalking business. I've been so stressed. So when we actually heard from him the other day, I was just like, oh, thank God you're alive. I'm not overboard. So yeah.
Absolutely. Well, hopefully, I know his sleep pattern will be all over the shop because I think they're 4 hours behind where he is. Hopefully, next week, because I would put my mortgage on the fact that he's back this weekend. I know that. It's just whether it's Saturday or Sunday. Hopefully, he can join us for episode 29 next week. So he'll be back very soon. But in the meantime, on tonight's episode, we are joined by Ross, who is better known on social media as the Orange Running Guy. He'll be joining us very shortly. But we've got a couple of other things to mention. Firstly, as I say, joined by Ben. You've just heard from him there. How's things with you, mate? All good?
Yeah, not too bad at all. I've been running quite a bit. Feel like I'm back in the swing of things now, getting back to where we were last year. So yeah, I can't complain. And do you know what? I feel good for it as well. So mentally, physically I'm hurting because it's like back to basics again. But yeah, it's that in them good pains I'm getting. So yeah, it just makes me want to go out again and go and release some. Just some of that. I just feel like over Christmas had it built up. Just eating and just wanting to get back into that headspace, but struggling. And just not having the urgency and the motivation. So it's good to just finally now just be back in the swing of things. And yeah, I feel like we've got a lot of things coming, a lot of things to look forward to. So I'm just trying to get myself, in that right space and ready for it all. So busy season.
I apologise for just introducing you as Ben then. I should have said Mr. YouTube star Ben, because we'll kick off with things. So Saturday just gone, the 10th of Jan, you visited Bruton Park, which technically is now your home park run. Your home park run before was Babs Mill, which I know you got it about because you absolutely love Babs Mill. But you visited that, but you sort of sandwiched park run in the middle. So you went on a longer run, obviously started before, did park run, then did a bit after, and you vlogged it. And I think we're so close to 1,000 views on it. It might have even hit 1,000 now. When I checked earlier, I think it was 9, 5, something.
People are going to start thinking I'm paying for views or something. Do you know what I mean? Because it does seem a bit fishy. I don't know what it must be the clickbait picture and title maybe. But so we'll keep them coming if it's going to bring in the views. But I just thought I went for it. I haven't done parkrun in a while. I can't even remember actually. What was the last one we did?
The last one me and you did would have been Isabel Trail. That was 20th of December.
Yeah. So and they've been kind of sporadic between them, haven't they? Really, because I'd only been going when we were touring or whatever, whereas you've been doing your local ones. So. Yeah, I just thought, right, let's just get up and go. I'm in the swing of things at the minute. Let's just go for it. And to be fair, I mean, as you say, it's my home park run. It's only about less than 3K from my house. So I thought, yeah, we'll do that. I wasn't planning on going for a longer one after, but I just thought, it's just one of them, feeling good. Enjoyed park run for once at Bruton, I say. So yeah, I just thought, let's go for it. And obviously taking the camera along as well, kind of prolonged the adventure. So can't complain. Not too bad.
Remind me what time you got at Bruton?
I think it was 22:33.
Okay.
So I started off, to be fair, because I was just like, playing with my camera and stuff and trying to just gauge the whole just feeling of the place. So I started quite middle to back of the pack, and it's just one of them. Once it opened up, just kind of trying to loosen the legs a bit, and yeah, saw a few familiar faces. So yeah, all in all, not a bad park run. I won't complain about Brute, and I know I have done in the past, but I quite enjoyed it. There you go, and I'm leaving it at that.
Yeah, no, well, I thoroughly enjoyed the video. I think as well, obviously, I am going to be biased because it was for our channel, but I think it was a nice sort of informative video. I think you were sort of saying what we had planned, and you were talking about your own sort of running. Obviously, we did a video at the start of the year where we were talking about running goals. Good evening, Daddy Don. We are joined by Daddy Don this evening. Good evening. If you are watching, thank you very much. Get involved in the comments tonight as well, because when Ross joins in shortly, I'm sure we'll have lots to talk about. So get involved in those comments, guys. But yeah, thoroughly enjoyed the video, and I'm delighted that it's done as well as it has. I'll talk a little bit about what we're going to be doing this weekend, but hopefully there's going to be another video planned and another little bit of a vlog as we're doing parkrun together this weekend. So yeah, that's great to see you back at parkrun. And yeah, like you say, I've been doing a lot of my local ones recently. I haven't toured since last year. In fact, the last time I did tour was when we did Isabel Trail, and that didn't go very well for me, but I stayed local again this week, did Yarborough Leisure Centre up here in Lincoln, and it was quite a frustrating time, if I'm being honest. And one of the things I said to you guys, I think it was actually after that Isabel Trail, because looking back on it, and this is what I always fail to do, is to apply perspective. And it'll be interesting actually when we speak to Ross soon to understand how he processes things, because I could actually learn a lot from Ross. Because my problem is, as you know, Ben, is I'm a very in the moment kind of guy when it comes to running. So it might not feel great, and I might feel horrendous, and I'll get frustrated, and I'll be like, why, when I'm doing running, and etc. etc. But then when I actually take time to sit back and I'll get my result through, I'll look at my splits, I'll look at this, I'll look at that, I'll be like, well, okay, you didn't feel great, but on paper that was a really solid run. So one of the things that I said about 2026 was making sure that I wasn't as negative when it comes to my running, and that I wouldn't allow my parkrun times to affect my day, because too many times in 2025 I'd come back from parkrun, and for the first, well, so what, I've finished around 9:45. I'd need the car journey home, and then maybe to chill out a bit, and then I would sort of put it to the back of my mind. Whereas now I'm sort of thinking, right, well, if you're going to be frustrated, that's fine, but leave it in the car park, leave it at the finish line. And unfortunately, you know, it took 10 days into the new year for that to creep back in. I didn't feel good at all. I was very stop-start and everything. And one thing I've noticed recently, so my Apple Watch broke a few weeks ago, so I've been using Strava on my phone, which me personally, I don't think calculates as well as if you were to wear a Garmin or an Apple Watch. I have now since got another new Apple Watch. So I've got that back, and Yarborough Parkrun always seems to come up a little bit long. So it's around 5.08, 5.10, around that. So when you see the time, because I literally, as soon as I cross the finish line, first thing I do is check my watch and finish it. So when I'm seeing a figure in the 40s, when I'm trying to aim for those sub 40s, straight away I'm like, for God's sake. But then I don't realise that it's clocked over 5. So that is exactly what happened on Saturday. I think I clocked at 5.10, might even have been a little bit more. And when you actually look into the stats, in Strava, I think it was a 39.45 5K. So, you know, brilliant, a sub 40 again, which is what I'm aiming for. So it was bittersweet on Saturday. I didn't think I ran very well. And then just to add salt, well, yeah, to add salt to the wound, we ran together. Yeah, so that was a third run in a row. And then I went out on Monday. I think I messaged the group chat, and I do not know what it was. My breathing was so off. It was really heavy breathing. I couldn't get my breathing pattern right. I was a lot more stop-start than I usually already am. And I actually had to cut my run short to the point where I did 1.21 miles. I was meant to rest up and go again today, but I didn't because I felt like there's still something maybe sitting on my chest, maybe. And we've got quite a big parkrun planned for this Saturday, which I want to give it my all and want to be in the best condition. So I might have gone out tonight and been absolutely fine, but it was not worth the risk in my eyes. So I didn't go out tonight. So I'm saving myself for Saturday now. But yeah, a little bit disappointed that I've let myself sort of slip back into how I was thinking towards the back end of 2025, really.
Yeah, but it's like that, isn't it? How many times have we said, you know, you're at this point now where you're almost getting annoyed that you're getting sub 40. And yeah, and the fact that, you know, you're not feeling great. Do you know what I mean? So you're not feeling great. You're doing sub 40, and yet you're still finding something to complain about, which is good because it just shows that you know you can do better and you know you've got more in you. Do you know? We know because obviously I paced you to sub 39, didn't I? Do you know what I mean? So we know it's there, but it's all about that perspective. And you know, I've sat there after parkruns, and you've been saying in the chat that you know not happy with it, and I've been sat there diving into your stats and trying to figure out some silver lining just to boost you back up. Yeah, it is hard, and sometimes I don't know how we get you out of that mindset. You know, it's whether I don't know you're speaking to someone like-minded, or I don't know, it's just a process. Eventually, you will get out of it, and you'll see your times go down, and you know we'll get there just by that grit and determination. But I don't think you've got much to complain about, to be honest. I think you need to cheer up.
Well, yeah, definitely, I think. But maybe it's my way of trying to push myself. It's not a very healthy way of doing it, by the way. And I'm not suggesting that anyone tries that method, but I think that's just the way I've been built. I'm like it in work. I'm like it in everyday life. As I say, it's not very healthy, but yeah, hopefully I can get a bit better with that. And, you know, at the end of the day, sometimes I'm sure anyone that does running will tell you half the battle sometimes, or half the victory, is getting out and doing it full stop, let alone reaching what you're actually going for. So, yeah, bittersweet on Saturday, but I'll absolutely take it. And again, goes back to what I said a minute ago. I was so annoyed, and I got back home, and I think Beck sort of knows now that she can tell straight away from when I get in whether I've had a good partner or not. And I sort of was just keeping myself to myself. Then I was actually looking on Strava, and then I thought, you know what? I don't know what all the fuss is about. I've got sub 40 again, and I didn't feel great. So imagine I went there and I felt absolutely amazing. What could I do? You know, I could be beating my parkrun PB. So, yeah, perspective
I think you're a typical British male and you love a moan. That's what I think it is.
Quite possibly. Yeah, I'm getting to that age now, perhaps.
Yeah.
Talking of parkrun, that links us quite nicely into what we'll talk about next. We haven't sort of done any news in the last few because obviously we had Ben Stevens on last week. I think the one before that was when we were talking about our running goals, and just a couple of parkrun bits that sort of cropped up on my news feed over the last couple of days. Well, since we last recorded, I guess. Which I thought would be quite interesting to mention, especially as we are quite sort of a parkrun heavy podcast, I like to think anyway. You might have seen that there was an inaugural event in Nottingham, which was at Home Pier Point. Now, I've actually done an ATW event, funnily enough, I think it was called the Home Pier Point 10K. And the Nottingham City Council must have been absolutely smiling through gritted teeth, because that same day, I know, granted, Home Pier Point, for anyone that is from Nottinghamshire, will understand this, but Home Pier Point is just on the sort of outskirts of the city centre. So I would say, if we're comparing it to Birmingham, Home Pier Point would maybe be the same distance from Birmingham city centre as Deptford, maybe a stretch. So that day of that event, the Nottingham 10K was going on in the city centre as well, and I think it's 1 or 2 laps of the park. So they had their first ever parkrun event. I've since read this evening that they were actually meant to go the weekend prior, but because of weather, they weren't able to. So they've broken a record for the largest attendance for a first ever event. So they had 1,279 finishers on the first ever event. Only they beat it at a parkrun in South Africa on the 11th of March 2017. Midstream parkrun in South Africa had 1,265 on their first ever parkrun. And then I was reading as well that there's another one. I think as the crow flies, I think that means now that the home pier point is possibly the closest together to another parkrun in the UK. I think again, South Africa, I think 2 parks connect and they've got a parkrun each, but the river sort of disconnects it. So you couldn't walk from home pier point over to Colic, which is the next one, because the River Trent's in the way. So technically speaking, it's not close to walk it, but as the crow flies, it's closest. I've seen a few TikToks on it, and I think people said they were queuing for ages to get their tokens at the end. So definitely one that I want to tick off, because like I say, I've done that course. It's flat. It's around a little lake maybe a river. I don't know, because it's its own bed of water in the middle. So yeah, it'd be a good course. So definitely one I want to try. And then talking of also last weekend, another record which was broken. So congratulations if you took part in a parkrun on Saturday the 10th. I'm saying the 10th, sorry. I mean the 17th. Yeah, I'm all over the place. The 17th of January, because you were part of a new record which saw 473,972 different parkrunners. So that made history. That was worldwide at every parkrun, whether you volunteered, walked, jogged, or ran at a parkrun or junior parkrun. So that's quite phenomenal as well.
Was this part of their bring a friend to parkrun thing?
Quite possibly. Maybe they saw an increase in numbers because of that. Because I think we mentioned that the other week, didn't we, on the podcast?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, very, very good. And then a bit of a jokey one to sort of finish on. I have to give credit to I stole this from the MARM Facebook group. So somebody's put in there was an incident at the Vermuyden Way Parkrun, which is one I've done out in, I think, unless I'm getting mistaken. This is the one that I went to do, and there was an accident on the way, so I couldn't do it. They had an incident. It said, we unfortunately had a complaint from locals yesterday who had to witness parkrun participants urinating in the trees and bushes close to the start line. It shouldn't need to be said that this is totally unacceptable and will not be tolerated. If this is witnessed by any of the team in future, which this next bit I think is a little bit harsh, the guilty party will be asked to leave the event. And if they refuse to leave the event, they will have their finish time removed from the results. I mean, if they're being asked to leave, surely they wouldn't run it to get a finish time, but hey ho.
Do they have the authority to kick people out of the park, or
maybe it's a private? In fact, I think if this is the one I'm thinking of, I think it's on private land. I think it's like a farmer's field. Or it might be council owned. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. But not only that, they'll be reported to HQ. We've worked very hard from the start to keep our neighbours and locals on board, and will not tolerate anybody putting this at risk and cancelling our event. So I thought that was a bit harsh to say that it might be cancelled. So yeah.
Are you on Mike for weeing in a bush before?
Do you know what? Look, Marm makes a joke of it, doesn't he? He calls them wild weed. And I think the best thing I've ever seen on his channel is when you first introduced me to him, when he did the vlog for the Birmingham Black Country half, and he went for a wild wee, and he ended up getting it all down his shorts, and it didn't blend into the colour of his shorts. So, but I have stopped myself from going for, well, for the sake of it, we'll call it a wild wee. I have stopped myself before. I was at Doddington Hall Park Run up here in Lincoln, and I always get that thing in my head right as I'm about to start when I think, oh, you could really do with going to the toilet. Even though I'm fine, it might be a nerves thing, it might be a psychological thing. But this time I really did need to go for a wee. And I thought I could just go because there was some trees and it's in a woodland. But then I thought, is that a parkrun thing? Because I've never seen anyone do it at a parkrun before. So I thought I could get in trouble. Someone could report me. So I have been very close. And that was the worst run that I've had to endure needing the toilet because I should have just gone.
See, you'd think it'd make you quicker, wouldn't it?
Well, yeah, exactly.
But
yeah, absolutely. One little last bit of running news. I'm surprised you didn't pick up on this because you actually opened the email, Ben. Our friends over at Protein Rebel have announced that they're doing a running festival. So they sent us an email and said most nutrition brands sponsor races, but we decided to build one. So basically, on the 7th of June this year, they're hosting the second Protein Rebel Running Festival, a day built around everything we believe running should be: inclusive, challenging, supportive, and fueled naturally. So they've said it's not about elites or podiums, it's about everyday runners showing up, giving their best, and enjoying the process. So for anyone that's in this area, it's the 7th of June. It's at Kelsall Hill Equestrian Centre, which is in Cheshire, and it's a 10K trail run and festival. So if anyone's in that area and fancies that, then Protein Rebel, the fantastic guys over at Protein Rebel, are putting that on for a second time by the sounds of it. And then just lastly, I'm glad that I didn't miss this because I thought this was phenomenal. Bramhall Park Run. I've tried to have a look where it was, couldn't find it. They had a new all-time record. So Colin Lowe set a new record for the VM 85 to 89 parkrun record, right? So he's in the 85 to 89. Do you know what his time was?
Go on, hit me with it.
31:32.
What machine?
The 85 to 89 category. That is absolutely phenomenal. So Colin Lowe, absolutely inspirational. That is well done. Yeah, I saw that in the week and thought, you know what, I've got to mention that. Last couple of bits before we get our guest in. As I've alluded to already, myself and Ben are back on the tourism train this week. And technically, Ben, I think I was thinking about this the other day. I don't know if I'm right in what I'm about to say. I think once we've done this one, technically speaking, in the Birmingham postcode area, we will have ticked off every Birmingham park run. But there might be one that I can't remember. Maybe, in fact, there's Woodgate Valley.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So we'll be one off ticking every Birmingham park run off. Me and Ben have decided we are going to go to Sutton Park. We've put it, okay, I say we, I've put it off long enough. After we did the Birmingham Running Festival there a couple of years ago, I think I vowed that day to never return to Sutton Park for any running. But do you know what? It's one park run we need to tick off. We want to do all the ones in Birmingham. Like I say, once we've done that one, we'll have ticked them all. Well, we'll have one left in the Birmingham postcode to tick off. So, yeah, we were going to do it a few weeks ago, but I genuinely was ill. Ben's not having it, but I was. And, yeah, we've decided that this week we're going to do it. We'll be accompanied by Farmy, who's a regular park runner with us, and Ben Stevens as well, who was on the pod last week. If you've not watched that, by the way, go and check it out. So, yeah, I'm really looking forward. Well, I say really looking forward. I'm sort of looking at it in a light of it'll be a good challenge for myself.
Yeah.
You know, I'm sort of chomping at the bit a little bit, to be honest, and I'm quite intrigued to see. Look, it's not going to be easy by any stretch. I know that. I know what I'm letting myself in for, but I'm almost thinking, let's have a bloody good go at it. You'll bring the camera. There'll be a finish line thoughts afterwards, and we'll just have a bloody good laugh and try and do the best that we can, won't we?
Yeah. I mean, I'll be running with you as well. So it'll be like just like it was 2 years ago. We will be together hitting the hills of Sutton Park. So yeah. No, it will be a good challenge for you. I really think it's what you need at the minute. So yeah, should be good.
Excellent. And then just lastly, for those that... Huh?
You said lastly about 4 times.
Right, it's my hosting skills. I'm very good at saying lastly. You should have seen how I used to sign off my old podcast. I'd say bye about 27 times. People are going to get so sick of me for posting this, but I've got to do it. We are raising money at the moment. We have a date for our charity fundraiser, which is... Are we saying the date now, Ben? Are we?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay. Well, we think we have a date for our charity fundraiser, which is a 24-hour treadmill challenge. We're in conversation with a few places that can hopefully host us by doing so, but I think we've pretty much narrowed down what we're looking for. So let me just show you. We are raising funds for the Mental Health World Cup 2026. So as you can see, hopefully everyone at home can see my screen. Can you see my screen, Ben? Because I can't see. Yeah, I can see. Excellent. So we are on £110, and by the end of April, we have to have raised £1,250. So we've raised 8% of that. That says 38 days to go. I don't know what that's counting down to. So ignore that. But basically, we're playing a charity football match at my beloved Watford FC's ground, and it's all in aid of 4 mental health charities. So the money that we raise will go to these charities, and then it's split 4 ways to 4 mental health charities. It's on the Saturday, the 9th of May, 2025. And like I say, me and Ben played in it last year for my football podcast that I do. But now we're sort of teaming up with them, because you've got me, my brother, and then the other host from that podcast playing for us, along with Ben, Jake, Ben Stevens, Tom Hodgson, and Chris Pritchard as well, who have all appeared at one stage or another on this podcast. I'll just show you something cool, actually. I spotted this the other day, and you have to pick a country to represent, obviously, with it being the World Cup. The more popular ones, if you want that country, you have to raise more money, because obviously they're more popular picks, so more people will pick them. So like England, Germany, Spain. Obviously, if you raise more money, you can have dibs on that nation. Well, I knew we weren't going to be top of the leaderboard last year, so I went with Mali, because Watford have a striker from Mali. So I'll just show you the kit from last season. So this was the kit, which it's the lighting doesn't actually do it justice, because that is luminous. If I turn the light off now, you'd just see this shirt. And then with all the sponsors on the back as well. And we actually got I got a Mali flag, which is under the bed, which we have said to them this year that we would also like to represent Mali again, along with another few countries. So potentially we could be seeing that flag come out again. But I appreciate it's very hard times at the moment, and it's January is the longest month known to man. But if you can spare any change whatsoever for a great cause, that would be amazing. And yeah, I'm sure we'll do a lot of filming on the day and whatnot. So yeah, I think that about wraps things up, and I think we will bring our guest Ross in. So without further ado, Ross, thank you very, very much for joining us tonight. How are you?
I'm very well. Thanks for inviting me on, guys.
Sure. No, not a problem whatsoever. I really enjoy your social media. So for those that don't know, on social media, you're the orange running guy. And
Yep.
I mean, I've sort of started my social media running page maybe in the middle of 2025. So I'm still quite new to it. And I think we follow each other and whatnot. But for those that don't know, what was whether it was a thing, whether it was an event, whether it was a moment, what was it that sparked your journey into running?
Wow, that's a good question. Quite a few things, to be fair. Mental health being one of them. Fitness, being overweight, not being able to walk upstairs without getting out of breath. So yeah, kind of all those things really. Just, just wanting to kind of make myself be a better person, really, and to try and subdue this anxiety and the depression that comes with it. And you know, running to me was the best outlet for that. So yeah, so it was February last year I started, February 2025. Did my first park run towards the end of February. That was at the Willen Lake in Milton Keynes, and I believe that it took me near enough an hour to do it. So going back to what you were saying earlier about being quite, I guess you can call it competitive with yourself, being quite, annoyed at things that you know I could have done better, and I was very much like that. Excuse me. I'm quite a competitive person, but against myself, not against anybody else. So I'm always kind of very similar to what you said after parkrun. I'm looking at my time and think, oh, that's rubbish. I could have done better there, or perhaps if I didn't walk that bit, I could have, I could have done this. That could have saved an extra 10 seconds. It's always kind of the nitpicking. But you guys saying about parkrun, I love parkrun, and I've done. I'm not sure about you guys, but I've done 33 since starting. I'm very much like you. I'm a bit of a tourist park runner. I live in Rugby, so obviously we've got a local park run here, but I'm not keen on it. I've done it 2 or 3 times at the most, and that's only if I can't get anywhere in a car. It's a kind of last resort, which not a good advertisement for it, but it's 2 laps, and it's kind of part tarmac, part field, part kind of trail, and it's got a kind of a hill as you come round after the first lap. I mean, it's kind of like that, but it's not tarmac or anything. It's like, it's mud. So if it's been raining the night before or ever, then it's horrendous. So like I say, I've only done that one a couple of times. So yeah, like I say, it's just been an ongoing journey, really, trying to make myself a little bit of a better person, which is working.
So you're quite a late starter, really, to running. I mean, I was saying this to Mike not long ago that I really wish I'd got into it sooner. Almost that we feel like late starters, really, because I think my first proper event was a couple of years ago. I was supposed to do the Great Birmingham Run during lockdown. That happened, and me and Mike both did it from home. Just done it around our street. So that was supposed to be my first event, and then I just didn't do anything from then. That was it. I was done the medal, done the fundraising, and that was it. So then to come 2 years ago, where it just really sparked, and just between me and Mike, we just kind of locked into it and went for it. We actually thought we were late to the game. Right. So how for you at your age, how do you think it differs from someone who's younger? And what sort of challenges do you face at your age?
Yeah, that's a good question. So I think for younger people, I mean, like I said, I'm 50 now. I turned 50 at the end of the year. Challenges I face, really, it's more so my legs, trying to make my legs go. I think it gets to a point where at the moment I'm still at the point where I'm kind of running, walking maybe 5 minutes or so all together in a run. But it's mainly the challenges really is on my legs. My breathing, that's got a lot better. So I wouldn't say that's an issue at the moment. That's not really a challenge because I've learned a rhythm. Somebody's taught me a rhythm as well of kind of what to use. But I think the difference mainly is it's just the youth. It's more having more energy, I think, if that makes sense. You know, you guys run what 30-minute, 40-minute park runs. You know, I could only dream of something like that. I mean, I one of my goals is to run a sub 45 park run. But like going back to the challenges, really, I think it's the recovery afterwards. It takes longer. But I guess, you know, I've only been running for a year, so I'm thinking to myself that that's going to improve as I carry on, as I keep on going. But I think probably that's the main challenge. It's just more recovery time than a younger person.
Do you think you are seeing the effects of your running? Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Oh God, yeah, absolutely. I've lost a lot of weight over the last year. I'm definitely fitter, I guess as you call it. You know, I'm not getting out of breath doing anything really. What other effects? Mental health, you know, again, that's the main thing really that it's helped. You know, if I'm having a really bad day, if it's not too bad outside, if it's not chucking it down, I'll just go out for a couple of mile run just to clear my head. Because I think when you're running, I'm very much a solo runner. I still very much get the imposter syndrome, very much so still. So when I go running out, you know, I'm on my own mostly, mainly as well because, you know, I probably couldn't keep up with a lot of people. So, so yeah, I think I'm working on kind of strengthening my legs, doing a lot more conditioning. I've started to go to a circuit training class. I'm trying to do that once a week. I go to the gym if I can, once, twice a week maybe, to do that. But yeah, I think it's just definitely as a 50-year-old, which I don't think of myself as a 50-year-old. I don't feel that age at all. But it's the recovery, definitely recovery, and the kind of remembering to kind of to actually do rest and not do too much as well. I'm very much like if I've got a spare 5 minutes, I'm like, oh, you know, I could be doing this. I could be going out. I could be off for a walk somewhere. I could be, you know, since I've started running, I can't sit still. I'm very much kind of like I can't. In the evenings I can because I've been at work and it's kind of like but at a weekend I'm like I don't want to sit here and watch TV. I want to be out there. I want to be like, you know, that kind of thing. So, yeah, it's changed me a lot as a person, definitely. I used to be quite a negative person in a sense of, but that was my mental health. I think with my anxiety, always looking for something that's going to go wrong when it's not going to go wrong. But now it's kind of, I'm training myself to, you know, look on the positive side. What's the worst that can happen? I think is one of my new sayings. What's the worst that can happen? Into that mindset. So yeah, definitely. Yeah.
You mentioned obviously that you've done 33 parkruns, I think you said, and you mainly you mainly do tourist parkruns. So with that in mind, do you have a top 3 parkruns, favourite parkruns, and any honourable mentions for any ones that you'd maybe steer clear of?
Yeah, I've done quite a lot of them, and I do enjoy like pretty much everyone I go to. I have got a top 3, but they're all very kind of, you know, they're 1, 2, and 3, but they're a very close 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
So I mean, start at the bottom. So Tamworth Castle Park Run. Love Tamworth Castle Park Run. Really good course. I think it's twice round. It's kind of flat. It's got a few kind of little kind of undulations, but not massively. I love there. I got a PB there the last time I went, so kind of I was, always happy to do that. But sort of generally, the volunteers there, amazing, brilliant place. Always really shouting you on, really encouraging, brilliant. Yeah, so if you've not done that one, I'd get to do that one. Really good. Second one, Market Harborough. So again, that's a 3-lap course. And again, that is pretty flat. You're probably getting the idea that I don't like hills.
Same.
Yeah. My wife will say, "You're going to start doing hills soon." I'm like, "Yeah, but not quite yet." So yeah, Market Harborough again, really nice course, really picturesque, really great cafe as well. But again, I got a PB there as well.
Nice.
And then top of the shop, really Stratford upon Avon.
Yes. Man
Mainly
after a
because I love-
my own
yeah.
heart there.
Mainly because I love Stratford anyway. But again, 3-lap course, flat as a pancake, really picturesque. Volunteers are brilliant. You can wander into the town and get a nice breakfast afterwards. So that, yeah, I've done Stratford probably about 6 times. It's just, yeah, I just really like. I've got a PB there as well. I think that's fine. So my current PB for a park run is 47:22, and that was done at Coventry Park Run.
Yeah.
I've done that one. I've done that one twice or once. I've done that one twice. Coventry's not a bad park run, to be fair. It's
Yeah.
a 2-lap kind of. There are a couple of hills there, but not massively kind of, that you'd struggle. Yeah.
Yeah.
The only downside to it is the amount of runners that you get there.
Yes.
So you get, I think they get over 1,000 runners every week. So, yeah, again, Coventry, yeah. Now, just going back to what you were saying, Mike, about starting your watch and starting your phone when at park run.
Yeah.
So I tend to start my watch when I cross the start line.
Yeah. Same.
And apparently, yeah. So apparently, some people find that quite controversial because you're not getting the correct park run time, so to speak. But yeah, and so a busy park run, you've got to start it when you pass the start. Otherwise, you're like 2 minutes off your time already. So
yeah.
I'm very similar to yourself. I just stop it, and literally as soon as I cross the finishing line, it's like my hand's already on the stop. So yeah, I'm pretty much similar to you. Where else have I been? That's been really nice. Have you done Warwick Racecourse before?
No, we were. I think we were toying with the idea. So our friend Ben, he's from over that way, and he has done it a few times, and it's one that is on our list to do. But I would imagine with it being a racecourse, I've done Market Raisin Racecourse up by me,
Right.
and I would imagine all racecourses are pretty much the same. They tend to be nice and flat.
Yeah. Well, this one's not too bad. There's one hill. So what you do is it's like an out and back. So you go round.
Yeah.
I think, and then you turn around and then you just come back on yourself. Mm-hmm. And it's at the turnaround point where there's a slight hill, and then you go down, and then turn around and then come back up and then obviously down again. I did that quite early on in my park run journey. So that was I need to go back there and try there again. But I must have. There's only been a couple that I've not enjoyed. We went to Beacons Hill Park Run, and that was, as the title suggests, it's a hill basically. So it's basically straight up for about 1.5 miles. And you get to the top and you do a circle, and then you literally come straight back down the hill again. The second part is okay because you're coming downhill, but the first part is tough.
Yeah.
First part is tough. And what's the other one that I wasn't really? It's gonna be mad. Can't remember.
Well,
I remember.
There's a couple that you've mentioned there, which we've done a lot of the same ones. So I think you mentioned which one was it now? Tamworth Castle Grounds.
Yeah.
We did that. I think we had 4 or 5 of us do that in We've only done it once, the 20th of September. I've got the 5K up here. And I think our general assessment of it, Ben, was it's a nice course. As Ross has said, maybe you could stretch to saying it's undulating in parts, maybe that little bit when you go under that bridge and then you're in the sort of woodlands, if you class it as that. That's probably as undulating as it gets. But I think our general assessment was, if we were nitpicking, it would probably be that the name was maybe a little bit sort of misleading. We expected, obviously, you're inside the grounds.
Got you. Yes, I got you. What you mean?
We maybe expected to be sort of see the castle more, because you obviously see it when you start.
That's it. Yeah,
and then you turn right, don't you?
Right.
But what was your assessment on Tamworth Castle, Ben?
Yeah, very much the same. I think it was my point. I made that point. I was like, that's just what you're expecting. It's in the name, whatever. I do really like that start, though. Obviously, I was at the front, so I just got the plane. I could just see down, and it was just, I enjoyed it.
You did quite well there.
Yeah, I got third in that. Yeah. So, I recorded it. It's on the channel.
It is. Yeah.
That was. Yeah, well, you can't complain, can you, when you're in that position? But no, I was a fan of it. There was no proper gripes about it at all. I think it's just standard parkrun, but I think it had everything, because it had that little cafe after as well. Yeah, no complaints from me about it at all. I enjoyed it.
There was another one as well. I mean, Stratford upon Avon is one of my favourites. I've done that 3 times. And I think the last time I did it was in October. There was a bit of a joke made about it, because the last time I did it in October, it was actually my 1-year wedding anniversary. I'm, as you can probably tell from my accent, even though I don't live in the area anymore, I am from Birmingham. So I know of Stratford upon Avon, and I absolutely love it, the same as you said, Ross. And I thought to myself, right, 1-year wedding anniversary, book a nice weekend away somewhere with the wife, and I booked Stratford upon Avon. And these lads don't believe me, but I promise you, parkrun did not enter my mind whatsoever. I booked the hotel, and I'm looking at this hotel. I'm like, okay, yeah, that's nice. And then I'm obviously, a few days later, I'm looking again, because I'm like, right, is there parking there? I'll go on Street View, I'll have a look. And I was like, oh no, my wife is going to think I've done this on purpose. So I wasn't telling her till right before we were going. And I said, look, I'm going to have to tell you a few days early, because I'm worried you're going to think I've done this on purpose, but I haven't. The hotel I booked was only the one next door to the bloody car park for the parkrun. So I was like, this is going to look like I've done it on purpose, but I didn't.
I was going to say, did you book the hotel right next to the park? Definitely.
Yeah, so...
The thing is, he's got a habit of this, because he also did it when he was moving house. He was staying in Airbnbs just between moving. And he also booked an Airbnb right next to your local parkrun, didn't you?
Oh, yes. Yeah, the back garden. I genuinely didn't know about that one, to be fair, because I still am getting to grips with Lincoln. The back garden looked out onto this field, and I was looking, and I was like, that looks recognisable. And it had a gate in the back garden that you could go onto this field. So I went out one night on a bit of a run, and I was like, oh my God, this is where you go round 3 times for the local parkrun. So yeah, I've got a bit of a habit for it unintentionally, but going back to my original point, I love Stratford Parkrun. I mean, you couldn't get a more, well, you probably can, but in my experience, it's picturesque. I'm not a great fan of 3-lappers, because obviously it's very repetitive, but that is the only parkrun, and still to this day I think it's true, where there is not one single incline on that parkrun. If I'm going to nitpick, and I really am nitpicking here, maybe when there's bad weather, Michael's Corner, where it's on grass, can sort of feel a bit of a slog. But other than that, not one incline. And like you say, a short walk into Stratford town centre, and absolutely lovely. me and Ben have done Coventry as well. And do you know what? I must say, considering it is so undulating, I think I come away from that and my time was 42.19 there. So that was at the time I was really trying to push for sub 40. So I was perhaps not best pleased, but I actually felt like I ran really strongly there. So we did that in August. So as you pointed out, you know, we got a lot of people there, and my position that day was 700th. And, you know, I was near the back, but there was still a fair few people there. So it was, again, a lovely park. You've got that statue in the middle, sort of as you come
down to the finish. That's it, yeah.
Yeah. So a really nice picturesque park. I tell you one, I don't know if you've done, Ross, or if it's on your list, Holbrooks in Coventry.
No, somebody did tell me about that. It's quite new, isn't it?
I think so, but not only that, it's a very small community. Would you say that, Ben? A bit of a small.
I think there was about 70 there the day we went.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah.
Maybe just over. I was 81st.
Oh, okay.
That was in May.
It was definitely under 100.
Yeah, right. Definitely under 100. But again, a lovely little community there, and it's mainly on grass. Would you say, Ben?
Yeah, there's like a little section as you're coming back down towards the end that's on pavement, but the majority is on grass.
On the grass.
Yeah. So that's definitely one. If I'm noticing a theme of where your park runs have been, especially as
I live, like I say, I live in Rugby, so we tend to do anything maybe like an hour in either direction.
Sure.
I think the furthest one we've been to, my wife runs, she's done what the one down in Devon that's like the first or second hardest park run. What's that one called?
Yeah, I know. I think Marm's done it, hasn't he?
Yeah. From the sand.
Yeah. Well, there's Great Yarmouth, I think, is technically the hardest one.
This one.
So yeah.
So that's the furthest we've been. So anything. Yeah. So I've travelled a bit because, like I said, my wife was running before me, so I used to travel to park runs all the time with her. And obviously we've done New York. She's in New York park run around the race course.
Oh, okay.
What else have we
you
done?
mentioned one a minute ago about I think it was actually I can't remember which one you said, where it was uphill for like a mile and a half.
Beacons Hill.
Beacon Hills. Well, like yourself, I absolutely hate park runs with hills. I'm getting a bit better of trying to include them because we did a run back in October, which it was our second year doing it, and there's famously a big hill at the start. So I've sort of was preparing myself for that. But one which is in the area where you sort of tend to do your park runs, Leamington. Let me tell you, the hill on that. Oh, you've done it.
Yeah. I've literally, as you said it, I was like, I remember. So literally, I got round. I was doing really well. I got to that hill, and I looked at there was a marshal there, and I went, "Are you actually killing me or what? Have I got to go up there?" And it was just like, yeah. So I kind of like tried to jog a little bit up it, and I thought that's not happening. So quick walk. I got the top. I actually had to stop because I thought I was going to die.
Yeah.
I was bent over on the ends, and fair play to the marshal. Literally came up to me and went, "Are you okay, mate? Are you okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm fine. I'm just taking a minute. Give me a second. I'll be fine." But yeah, oh my lord, yes, that is one hell of a hill.
Yes, absolutely. Well, you've not done it, have you, Ben?
No,
you went with us that day.
Yeah.
I think if you're a quick runner, it's fine because you've got enough momentum to probably get yourself up that hill.
Yeah.
Whereas I remember kind of like I was literally like running or jogging up to it, and it was like and it was chucking it down with rain the day that we went. We got absolutely soaked. So part of it is actually on field, isn't it? So the legs were really heavy anyway. So after running that little bit, my legs were heavy, and it was like So I think my time on that was quite close to 50 minutes, to be fair, because I was like, nah, I think
Well,
no.
it teases you a bit because obviously it's quite a sharp hill,
Yeah.
and I was warned about that before. But then afterwards, when you're in that woodland, it sort of goes down a bit, and you think, okay, yeah, that's the worst bit. But it's not quite as downhill as you think. So, yeah, I think it was raining when I went as well. I sort of tied it in with a trip to the football. So I took me and my brother, and then we went to the football after, and we lost to make it even worse. So, yeah, it's one that I know, Ben, you want to do it. You definitely want to try it out. And generally speaking, when you do tourism park runs, I tend to be there anyway. So I guess that's me roped into doing it again, possibly. But
Do you know what though? I'd give it another go. I want to give it another go, definitely, because it was. Oh gosh, must have been 5 months or so ago that I did it, maybe.
Yeah.
So I'll give it another crack, definitely.
Well, maybe we'll have to organise something then.
Oh, absolutely, yeah, definitely.
So just I mean, I know we've asked a lot already, but
it's fine. You carry on.
What is your end goal in this running game?
It's the big old marathon, I think. Yeah. I think that's my end game. Well, not an end game as such, but you know what I mean. I think if I'm sorry, go on.
No, well, I was just going to say a particular marathon or just marathon in general, because I know
Just
Mike's is London Marathon. You know, that's what he wants.
My wife did the Manchester Marathon last year, and it was amazing. So I think, if anything, probably the Manchester one. Okay. London, I don't think I'd cope with the crowds as such. I think there'd be too much going on. I still get kind of, there's too many people around. So if anything, I would think the Manchester Marathon. As I say, my wife did it last year, and she did it in, I think it was about 6 hours, something or other. But she said it was amazing. She said it was brilliant, and she was right. The atmosphere, the marshalling and everything like that was just really good. So end goal really, I think, marathon. It's kind of within my plans this year. I've got an ultra marathon booked in.
Nice.
For July. So I'm sure you guys have heard of Endure 24, have you?
Yeah.
So I basically, again, my wife did that last year. Clocked up about 35 miles, I think it was. And I just thought to myself, you know what, I'm going to have a go at this. I was looking at the participants and thinking, you know what, I could do this. Look at that person. If they can do it, I can do it. It's going to take a lot of training. I should have a training plan by now, but I haven't. I'm kind of just building up my mileage as each one I do. So I think marathon. I've got an ultra marathon. Perhaps I'm doing it the wrong way around, maybe. But that's the goal, I think. And I think, thinking to myself now, standing at a start line of a marathon seems a long way off at the moment. But again, that's just my confidence. That's just, the right training, the right kind of headspace, the right mindset. I think, anything's possible, really.
I like that though. I like the mindset, because even though you say that, you are just throwing yourself into these things. And I'm not downplaying Mike. Like, this is the kind of mentality I want you to have, Mike. Do you know what I mean? And it's speaking to people like you, Ross. I think there's a lot of things I can't relate to with Mike, and this is where we struggle. Obviously, we're completely two different ends of the spectrum in terms of our running journeys. So. There's been times where I've been running with Mike, and there's me trying to push him because I know he can do more.
We've
had arguments, haven't we, Mike? On runs about it, and it does hurt me because obviously he's one of my best friends, and it's a case of I just know that it's in there, and I know he can do it. But it's just getting that mentality. So this is why I was interested in having you on tonight, to kind of have you two kind of speak, and because you're quite similar runners, if I can say that, and it's getting that spark into him to help him, that motivation, that just them words of advice or something, just to get him. I mean, you heard obviously before us talking about how he struggles with that mentality of keep going. It's just I don't know if you've got anything you can say to him that can give him that spark. Or
I just think that for myself, I'm similar in the sense of sometimes. I'm sorry, I keep going back to sort of my anxiety and stuff, but you've got to fight that. If you have that yourself, you just need to fight it. I've kind of stopped it from controlling me, whereas I'm trying to control it. In regards to motivation, it's really hard to sometimes, probably like yourself, you probably think, oh, I just can't be bothered to get out there, and I just, I'm not doing this and that. But the feeling of when you do it and how you feel.
Yeah.
I think you've got to keep that in your head, because that's what I do. I just think to myself, look, I enjoy this. Stop letting things enter your head that aren't true, that's trying to tell you that you're not going to be able to do that. This, that, the other. Get your running shoes on, get out there. Because at the end of the day, once you've done that run, you're going to feel on cloud 9. You've got that buzz, you've got that. And it doesn't matter what your time is. I used to really concentrate on my time, every run that I did. And I'd be really disappointed that if I've got 48 minutes, if I've got 47 minutes or whatever. But now I'm like, do you know what? I don't care. I'm not even looking at the time. Get out there, do the run, feel amazing afterwards. That's my motivation anyway, because I know how I'm going to feel when I've ran. You may be having a real crap day, a real kind of like, oh, I'm tired or whatever. I think that's one of the main things as well, that tiredness takes over. And going back to sort of what you said about the challenges for me, it was at my age, is tiredness as well. But yeah, and I mean, I hope that helps. It's really difficult to do, but just try and really just keep thinking to yourself positive stuff. I'm going to go out for this run now. I'm going to, even like, what I tend to do is like on a Monday, I'll think to myself, right, I'm going to go out for a walk, out for a run on Monday. I'm going to have a quick walk on a Tuesday. Wednesday, I'm going to run before work. And then Thursday or Friday, some kind of class. And then I'm going to run again on Saturday. So I think sometimes having a plan helps, because then, oh, I was going to do that. I need to do that because I've planned my time. So then that kind of pushes you out, because if you don't do that, then when are you going to do it? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I think to piggyback a couple of things what Ross has said, and I mean that time thing you just said, that sort of made me think already in a bit of a different mindset, because I think I am so driven on time at the moment. The thing with us, what we did sort of the back end of last year, Ross, was I was so heavily focused on, I was coming at Parkrun especially, it was 40, 41. Sometimes I'd be creeping into 42. But the more, this is going to sound so obvious, but the more I ran, the more I was knocking on that door of sort of 40. And then I thought, okay, well, to push myself, let's get sub 39, because, you hear about people all the time that, they've gone on this great running journey. I know a lad here in Lincoln who, and lockdown has been a big part of people's fitness journeys as well. I think before lockdown, he barely ran, and he started off and he was sort of in the 40s zone for times. And now, he did what marathon was it? I think it was the Chicago Marathon. He did the Chicago Marathon. Oh, was it the Boston? Either way, he did a marathon only a few months ago. And I think it's, he's then gone on, he doesn't really do park runs now, but the last couple of times he does, he's in the 20-minute bracket. And I think for me, that was my driver. I was thinking, right, sub 40, here we go. And I was so set on it the back end of last year.
Yeah.
And when I got it, I beat my PB time, my parkrun PB time. Gosh, when would that have been, Ben? It's October, November?
About October time, yeah.
Yeah, at Babs Mill. And I was like, I've done it. And it's about building on top of that now. And I think because I put that much pressure, obviously Ben paced me. So it helped having someone pace me to my parkrun PB. I almost had that mindset then of, right, okay, that's great. You've done it. Now you've got to go and do it off your own back. But I think I do need to perhaps focus more on being happy with how I've ran, as opposed to crossing the finish line, looking and thinking, bloody hell, that time again.
Yeah, I think it's all brilliant having a target. Nothing wrong with having a target, but I think you can't put too much pressure on yourself. You know, it's you know, the clue's in the title. It's a journey.
Yeah.
You know, it's not something that's happened. You know, I've had to think that for myself. It's something that's not going to happen overnight. Yes, I've got a target of doing getting a sub 45, but I know that that's probably not going to happen for another, hopefully 4 or 5 months time, maybe. But I think sometimes you can put too much pressure on yourself, and I think that stops the enjoyment of the actual run. If you're running and you're constantly checking your watch for your pace or your time, then to me you're not enjoying the run. You maybe pushing yourself a little bit too hard. Park runs, I agree. Getting that PB at a park run is brilliant, and yes, you can feel disappointed, but then also I think Ben said you've got to be pleased on how you ran. You just ran a 5K in however much time, and the pace was this. That's look at the positives of it, not the negatives. And believe me, I used to be exactly the same as you when I started to run. My wife used to tell me off all the time. Well, don't worry about your time. Stop. It's fine. This, that, and gradually I've just, yes, absolutely. I can understand that now. Putting too much pressure on yourself stops the enjoyment, I think, from my point of view. But yeah, like I say, nothing wrong with having a target. But look at your positives of your running, looking at the, like Ben said, looking at your stats, looking at your pace and going, oh, do you know what? I ran lap one in whatever. That's, maybe compare that to your last run or a couple of runs ago, I mean, I'm a bugger for pace. That's one thing I kind of concentrate on after a run. I'll look and think, oh, what, I think my fastest mile, it was about 14 minutes, something or other, and I'm not beating that yet. So, yeah, I do look at my pace and think that's the only thing sometimes that disappoints me is when I run a 16-minute mile and I think, do you know what, that's rubbish. That's really bad. But then I think, do you know what, you ran a 16-minute mile. You ran a mile. A lot of people can't run a mile.
Yeah.
I
think definitely pace for me. That's one thing I don't appreciate myself and maybe give myself a bit of credit for, because Ben said to me, I remember on Strava, what was it, Ben? It was 8 and 9 minute. I work in kilometers, by the way.
Kilometers, so yeah.
It was a 8-9 minute kilometer pace, and now I look at it and I'm lucky. Well, I'm not. I say lucky. I generally tend to hit sort of in the 7 or 8 minute kilometer pace now. So I perhaps don't give myself a bit of credit for how I've shifted that pace from 8 to 9 to solidly 7 or 8. And we were at Isabel Park Run just before Christmas, and what was it, Ben? That first kilometre.
I wasn't pacing correctly on that. We was hitting about 6.5 minute kilometre. Wow. So
wow.
Yeah. I might have done more damage for him there, to be honest.
Well, I did pull up injured that one, but yeah, I think just going back to what you said as well, how you perhaps have done it the wrong way around with entering an ultra marathon, and then the end goal is marathon sort of thing. I think the way that I used to do it, I remember when I first started doing 10Ks, and I didn't do any training for it. I just saw it and thought, you know what? Let's have a stab at this and see where it goes. And I think I've done 20 10Ks now. So, it's probably not the most orthodox way of going about things, but sometimes you're better to be pushed in the deep end and learn to sort of swim with the tide that way. Personally, I think giving too much thought to it, especially for someone like myself, I could easily talk myself out. Whereas, right, you've paid, you've entered,
That's it.
you're an
Absolutely.
idiot now if you turn back because you've wasted all
Yeah.
that money. So, yeah. But no, you mentioned, obviously, as I've just said, the marathon and the ultra. In terms of events that you've done, because I don't know the answer to this, you obviously do a lot of park runs. Have you done any 10Ks or have you not branched
I
out?
haven't.
To 10Ks? No.
No, so last year I did mainly 5K. So I did the Race for Life last year, the
Yeah.
5K. We had a local run through 5K event in Rugby, so I did that one.
Yeah.
And then I did 3 events last year. My favourite was I did the Silverstone Run Fest.
Oh,
Okay.
And again, so I did the 5K in that one. That was by far my favourite event ever, and I'll be doing that again this year, hopefully. But hopefully the 10K. So yeah, so going back to 10Ks, I haven't done. That is on my list of goals for this year. I'm kind
Have you
of.
got any booked in or looking
I
at
haven't.
booking in?
So yes, yeah. So the first one I shall hopefully be booking on Monday is the Wolverhampton 10K.
We'll be there.
Good. Now the
Did
reason
that last
behind
year.
that is, for my sins, I'm a Wolverhampton Wanderers fan,
wow.
and we're setting the Premier League alight at the moment, as you can.
Yeah.
So that's one of the reasons is that I want to do it because I want to run in the stadium basically.
Mhm.
But the main reason is that I that would be my first proper 10K. And then hopefully, again, the Silverstone 10K I'll do. I can't think when that is, and maybe a couple of others. But yeah, at the moment, like I say, I'm kind of building myself up to it. I've not run a 10K yet. I've been
Yeah.
very close to the
You did
furthest
a
I've run.
8K the other night, didn't you? Was it 8?
Yeah. So the furthest I did was this past Monday, so it was like 8K. And I should try again, or I shall do another this coming Monday. And I know I can do it. The run on Monday, I felt really good. Breathing was fantastic. I got no pain anywhere, which was brilliant. I didn't walk as much as I normally do, which I was really pleased about as well. So yeah, I was really pleased with that. And I probably could have done it on the Monday, but my legs were just by the time I'd got to where I got to, they were just like lead.
Yeah.
And it's starting to frustrate me a little bit because it's like I can do it. I know I can do it. But again, going back to age and stuff, it's your legs are like, nah, you've done enough now. Stop. But that's going to come with time. That's going to come with bit of conditioning, bit of weight training, that kind of thing. So what was I saying? So yeah, that will happen. And the only thing I'm worried about is that event is that they've got a cut-off time 19. I think it's 90 minutes.
The Wolverhampton one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I Ben will tell you this. I'm a bugger for checking stuff like that. I did Solihull half marathon in August, and it was my first half, and it said on there that it had a cut-off, and I was so adamant that I was going to be above that cut-off, but they will still let you finish. I think they say that because of road closures, but I did the Wolverhampton 10K last year, and as you get towards the end, you tend to see that people are driving on the road anyway, so it doesn't matter. And push comes to shove, you can just move to the pavement, and they're not busy roads. I think it's a road next to a big park, so I wouldn't worry in that respect. One thing I would say though, you say about you did that 8K and your legs and you're frustrated because you know that you can do it. The other guy who's usually on the podcast with us, Jake, he did his first 10K last year, and we said to him, that first time that you're at an event, obviously you've got parkrun and there's people there, but that first time you're at an event when it's 10K, that I tend to find the crowd will push you through those extra kilometers, because
absolutely.
I've been the amount of times I've been on the home stretch where I can see the finish line and my body is screaming with pain.
Screaming.
And you're like, I don't know if I'm like, because my fear is I obviously have to walk a lot. I use the technique of Jeffing, which I'm sure you do as well.
Yeah.
And I still to this day, and I shouldn't think like this or I shouldn't feel like it, but I still get really embarrassed where there's loads of people in shot of you. If I have to stop and walk that close to the finish line, and I'm sure people aren't thinking, what is this guy doing? But in my head, they are. So the amount of times I've been on that home stretch where I can see the finish line, my body is screaming to me, stop, just walk, just walk. But the crowd gets you through it and over that finish line. It's a feeling that I cannot explain. But yeah, I think just going back on something you said a while ago as well, in terms of, you know, having that motivation and knowing that you can do it. We often mention Marm on here because, you know, we think he's great. And he posed the question recently, and you've probably seen it, about what's running given you. And my answer was that how people like me can go and do a run. And I've never been sort of a sporty person. I've always loved football from when I was a little kid, and I've played for football teams growing up. But I'll be honest, I was crap. And you've always got those people sort of in your life that have tend to be quite good. And, you know, they've won trophies, they've won things as a kid. And I've never had that. Whereas with running, as you can see behind me, I've got medal rack. And that's what I love about running, because it's that inclusivity. Anyone can go and do it. And I'm sure you completely resonate to that as well.
Oh, absolutely. There's one kind of thing that I'm finding with all my social media stuff, that, you know, I'm getting messages, you know, not every day, every other day maybe. You know, you're fun. You know, you're brilliant. You know, you inspired me to go out running, or you know, I had one the other day. You know, that I think it was in America, and he's like, you know, from across the pond, just to let you know that you're inspiring everybody over here. and it's, you know, it kind of, I have to stop and I have to be humble, which I am.
Yeah.
But, you know, getting those kind of messages, that part as well just pushes you on. And the whole kind of inspire thing, you know, getting people to, you know, if I can run, then you can run.
Yeah.
Anybody can run. And yeah, I love that about, like you say, the running community. They're so supportive. You know, you can put up that you've had a really bad run and you felt like this, and the response, positive response you get, amazing, and it just lifts you. And I hope that I can do that for other people as well. You know, people can see me. You know, I post quite regularly. Sometimes if I've had a bad day, sort of mental health wise, I don't mind. It helps me. Obviously, I talk to my wife and stuff, but it helps me. I post it, not to get any, you know, it's not clickbait or anything, you know, I want this thing, but it helps me kind of like, because it shows other people that are like myself or whatever, that has that kind of thing, that it's fine to talk about it. You need to talk about it. You need to share it. It's no good keeping it to yourself, because that's 100 times worse. So I'd like to think, that it's made me proud of myself that I can inspire some people to get into this this sport of running. Definitely.
Well, I'm enjoying watching and following your story. I don't know if you just want to give a little plug. Where can people find you?
So I'm on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube, all as the Orange Running Guy. I started up a YouTube channel just because I thought, you know what, I'll give it a go. That's doing okay. It's not doing too bad. I struggle to run with a camera. I've said this before on another podcast. I just find it really difficult. But I've bought myself like a head thing that I can stick the camera on the top. So I'm hoping to do more sort of content while I'm running. It's mostly kind of, I do updates of what kind of week I've had, what I'm planning to do, how I've been feeling in the week, that kind of stuff at the moment. But yeah, I mean, it's I started my page, I think it must have been March, just like a month or so after starting, and it's just took off. Never expected to get this kind of response, really didn't. And to me, being invited on a podcast is like, whoa, what, me on a podcast? What, you want me to come on and talk about? It's again another thing that I thought would never happen. But it's great to come on and and just share what I've done, and speak about other things as well. Really, it's all good. It's all good.
No,
Well,
well, it honestly.
Well,
No, I was probably going to say exactly what you were going to say. It's been brilliant speaking to you, especially from a personal point of view. A lot of similarities to my running style, and I've definitely learned a few things to maybe implement into my running style as well in terms of mental capacity, definitely. So you've got a Strava running club as well, because that's
I do, yes, yeah.
You've got one of those.
Yeah,
as
so
well.
it's on Strava. Yeah, it's team ORG. Not doing too bad. I think it's about 90 members so far. And again, with that, the reach that I think I've got people from Australia, America, Canada, Poland. The reach on it is brilliant. So yeah, if anybody join the group, it's similar to the things. It's just posting your runs, posting your things there. And what I tend to try and do on a Sunday is just have a look at the leaderboard, sit the leaderboard up on. I have got a Team ORG page on Facebook as well, so it's on Facebook and it's on Strava. So I tend to look at the leaderboard. Obviously, congrats everybody. This is the look at the mileage that we've run in the week. And then for a bit of fun, I kind of do as the crow flies where we would get to in the world with that amount of miles. I think the most we've done is 1,000 in a week, so that's really good. That's really good.
We'll put all the links to your social media in the description. So if anyone wants to check Ross's stuff out, they'll be in the description of this video. So whether you're watching now or whether you're rewatching or whether you're listening, they'll be in the description. But Ross, it's been an absolute pleasure speaking to you. Are you touring this Saturday at Parkrun or staying local? Or
I've got a free Parkrun Saturday. I haven't got a car, so the only choice I have is doing rugby, which I probably won't do. I'll probably just go out for a road run somewhere.
Absolutely. Well, we'll have to arrange. You're always in the vicinity where we are anyway, and you're in our Strava group now, and I don't know if you notice, whenever we do a parkrun, we tend to put it as an event. So if you're ever thinking of touring one week, have a look on there, and it'd be brilliant to join you.
I'm definitely up for that. Definitely up.
Yeah.
Are you guys going to the running show at all?
We are indeed on the Saturday, is it then?
Yeah.
Good. I'll be there. I'll be there on the Saturday.
Well, thank you so much, Ross. It's honestly been great speaking to you tonight, and I'm sure our paths will cross very, very soon. But yeah, thank you very much, Ross.
That's great. No, thanks for having me on, and I really enjoyed it.
Excellent.
Cheers.
There we go. That was Ross, the orange running guy. What a gentleman. And to be honest, Ben, you sort of mentioned it originally about getting him on. And as I just said to him there, I've definitely learned a few things that I can implement in my running game, definitely. But what an inspiration.
Yeah. Incredible. I say that's why I wanted to get him on. I've been following his journey a little bit, and just I felt like you needed just someone who's in a similar pace and can relate to. So it was. I was in a way, I just wanted to be a watcher. I wanted to just watch you two speak and relate to each other. So no, it's been interesting for me as well, and I've very much enjoyed it. So
good. I noticed as well, we've had a few comments in as well, so thank you very much. We've had the Ginger Ape, we've had Mr. One Wolfie, who their names I've not seen before, so I'm guessing they've come over from maybe Ross's social media. So we've just had a comment here from Mr. Wolfie saying, well done all, great podcast. So thank you very much. If you're new to this channel, please do consider hitting subscribe, hitting like on this video as well. Just before we went live, I noticed we're on 69 subscribers. So just to get one more to make it 70, to make it a nice round number, would be lovely. So if you would consider hitting it. Well, here we go. The Ginger Ape straight away. Hadn't heard of you guys before, and he's subbed. So we're at 70. So thank you very much to Ginger Ape. Really do appreciate it. But yeah, like I says, myself and Ben will be at Sutton Park Run this Saturday. So if you're local to that and you're watching, feel free to come along, and we'll be back of the pack runners for sure this week. And yeah, I think that's pretty much everything we need to raise. And any other business before we stick a couple of songs in the vault, Ben? Anything you want to mention?
No. Just yeah, so I get Park Run out the way, and then running show next week. Going to put some content out from there. Me and Mike will be there. Unfortunately, Jake won't. But we will, once again, we'll take the camera and see what's what. So be interesting.
Well, I am very much looking forward to hopefully meeting Harry Judd from McFly. And that is the runner in me talking, not the 12-year-old fangirl. Yeah, so, right. Yeah. No, look, I'm looking forward to it. You went last year. I couldn't go last year, unfortunately. And I'm really looking forward to it. You know, I've heard a lot about it. We obviously follow the National Running Show's page as well. So, you know, it's going to be interesting to see, you know, what happens. What brands are there? We know Pro Team Rebel are going. We obviously have worked with those guys before, and we've still got a discount on the website, I believe. So if you're after any protein gels or protein powder, Pro Team Rebel website at checkout CTF15, and it gets you 15% off. So yeah, go and check that out. But yeah, looking forward to it. Yeah,
we've got a busy one anyway because we've got the Centurion GP on Sunday as well.
We have, yes. Again, if you go into the National Running Show and you're not from the area, on the Sunday, the 1st of February, the Centurion Running Club are doing a Grand Prix series. Well, it's race number 4, but technically race number 3 because last month's got cancelled because of the weather. It's 5-mile race round Babs Mill Park. If you've done the park run before, it's basically the course in reverse minus the up and down bit. The fee goes up on the day, so I think it'll if you're unaffiliated, it's probably around 13-14 quid on the day. So get yourself down if you're free. And yeah, they're really supportive guys over at the Centurion Running Club. Some real good guys there. What song have you got for me this week, man?
Well, I've got 2 actually.
Please.
And to be fair, they were inspired. I was on TikTok and I was watching, I think it was like Forgotten Prem. No, it was like Forgotten Prem Ballers or something like that. Yeah. So I was watching a video of one of my favourite players ever, Morten Gamps Pedersen. Just because he was left-footed like me, so everything that you tend to watch these left-footed players. But I'm
a lefty as well. Just saying.
Yeah, but I don't know about that. And it was Kylie Minogue, Love at First Sight, was over it. Ooh, and honestly, it brought a tear to my eye, just, reminiscing on like the 04, 05 season and his wonderful left foot. And then the second one was, it was over a video of Hugo Rodiega.
Oh.
So and that was Feet Don't Foul Me Now by Joy Crooks. So them are my 2 inspired songs for this week.
Well, that's song 58 and 59 in the vault. I'll be honest, whenever I do this, even though I always bug the lads, make sure you got a song ready, make sure. I never have one ready myself. So I tend to just click on my search on Spotify, and it obviously tells you what you've listened to recently, but there's a bit too many boy bands in there that doesn't quite fit the narrative of what we're aiming for with this. I think I'm going to go with just because it's been stuck in my head well, since it come out. I think it's a new song. I Just Might by Bruno Mars, which is quite apt because I think he's going on a bit of a world tour. He's definitely playing Wembley, I know that. So yeah, there are 3 new songs. So over on Spotify, hopefully you listen to us on Spotify as well. But over on Spotify, oh, here we go. You should try Frey, Keeping the Dream Alive. We'll check that out, definitely. Yeah, over on Spotify, if you just search for CTF Pod Playlist, then that Spotify playlist will be there for you to download and listen to on your runs. So, yeah, thank you very, very much for watching. As I say earlier, if you're new to this video, please do consider hitting the subscribe button. We want to get to 100 subscribers this year, and that's a really easy target because we're only 30 off. So, 100 by the end of Feb would be fantastic. So we are aiming to do more YouTube stuff this year, so driven more on YouTube. So it's definitely worth hitting that subscribe button for. Definitely. And leave us a review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you listen. And yeah, we'll be back next week, hopefully with Jake. We'll release more information when we have it ourselves. And yeah, we'll see you on the next one. So until next time, keep on trucking and keep on chasing that finish. See you later, guys.